Chris.
Ben,
Hello.
how are you doing this evening?
I am very well. Thanks for asking. How are you holding
Excellent.
up?
I'm hanging in there.
Hanging in there.
Hanging in there.
In there like swimwear, we used to say.
You used to say what now?
In there like swimwear?
In there like swimwear. That's a very 90s thing, it sounds like.
That's where it came from the 90s.
Ah, it's good because I
I'm
don't know if
not
I
really
told.
sure what it means. I think it means you get like a wedgie when you're
Wow.
swimming.
Wow. Okay, that's probably going deeper into that saying that
I'll
anyone ever
probably
wanted
cut
to.
all this part out.
It's interesting that you're going to talk about 90s because I'm actually started researching for our 90s episode.
Yeah, so that's a good mini-sode topic. What are we looking forward to about the 90s?
Well, I just started reading about it, but there's the end of the Cold War, and there's
Mm-hmm.
beginning of the New World Order, I guess, as George Bush put it.
Yeah.
So lots of cool stuff happening in the 90s. Very very economically sound, or a lot of good things happening economically.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a lot of they call it peaceful time, but there's a lot of conflict going on around the world as well as the two major sides of it, the Cold War, Soviet Union, and the United States, kind of collapse as far as these two major world powers go, and all these third world countries start rising up, and so there's a lot to look at.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear your take on it. It's one of my favorite parts. Mostly because I don't really have to contribute anything. I just get to ask questions and learn things.
Thanks, man. I'm glad I'm contributing.
I couldn't do this without you, Chris. It would be a really boring podcast. Nobody would listen.
I don't know. You did okay with your last podcast, right?
Well, that's true, but I had help on that one too.
Well, one day, Ben, you'll be a solo show.
I hope not. I don't want that.
I do have a question for you, and I don't know if this really needs to be recorded for our audience here, but this is a question. Have we decided where we're going to end Westerns by the decade? I know it's coming to a close, but we had two different options of how to close it. Were we gonna go with the whole
the tens?
2000? We want to end it at the tens because we were talking about ending it with the 2000s, making it like a full 100 years thing.
I think that might be best.
But then there's the 2010s that are very interesting cinematically.
I think we might not do the tens. Just because when we started this podcast, the tens were still going.
That's true. We were at the top, kind of the ending, the tens. So
I don't know.
all right,
I feel that way. And 10 is a nice even number.
I think it is a better choice to go ending with the 2000s because I feel like that's just like a set of time as a century of westerns.
Yeah.
And then when the next 100 years, we can kind of look at it and do another show after 100 years.
Yeah.
We'll do the sequel.
100 years from now.
Yeah, in the 22nd century, we'll look back.
It'll be our kids or grandkids taking over.
Yeah. So we could... podcasts last that long, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
We'll still have podcasting, even though we'll have holographic, immersive holodeck TV.
They'll be called holocasts.
Yes.
I feel like that's what they use. That's what they say in Star Wars. It's a holocast.
The holocast, or
they have a holo.
I think it's the HoloNet, isn't it?
Well, they have.
Or they have both.
I don't know. It's been a while since I've watched some of the shows from like Rebels and Clone Wars, but I feel like there's a holocast out there too, as well as HoloNet.
I've never seen Rebels, and I've seen very little of Clone Wars, so
Oh, such good shows. Such good shows.
Yes, good reasons to get Disney Plus.
Yeah. Yeah. Lots of binge-worthy shows there.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is just an odds and ends episode.
It is. We do those from time to time.
Yeah.
A grab
What are
bag.
you... What project... Let me ask you this then.
Okay.
Kind of maybe put some substance into this episode. What project are you looking most to, or looking forward to the most in the next 6 months? Because we're kind of in the half a year mark here of 2020.
Oh, yeah. You mean just career-wise, or in my personal projects, or with the podcast?
Just any and all. If you want to do all three, that's
wow.
fine. If you just want to do like the best thing you're looking forward to at the end of 2020, besides the end of 2020, that everybody is looking forward to. What are you most looking forward to the second half of this year?
I turned 28 this year in November. And
Congratulations.
So if I make it to 28, then that means that if I die, I won't be in the 27 club.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
The 27 club, there was a lot of famous people who died when they were 27.
Okay.
Mostly like 60s pop culture figures like Jim Morrison and Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix.
Mm-hmm.
All those people died when they were 27.
Wow.
So it's kind of a unlucky number, I guess.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to not being in that target.
I got married at 27. Yeah, I feel like that was the 27 club for my family, was that we got married at the age of 27, because I think most of my siblings were married by 27.
Wow. That's a totally different type of club.
It really is.
Much more positive.
It's a more positive club there.
So I am looking forward to that. I'm hoping to have I've accomplished a lot of small projects over the past few years, but I'd like to have one of my bigger projects at least well on its way by the end of the year in my personal project / career world. And then on the in Popstorian, I would love to grow our listener base.
Yeah.
I love the listeners we have, but I'd love to have some more and hear some more feedback. I think would be awesome. So if you have feedback, or if you'd like to share us with a friend, you can do those things. And
on Twitter?
Yep, all over the place.
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
But before we go, we need to hear yours too.
Mine?
Absolutely.
I'm very excited about continuing to learn. I know that's very nebulous. I've been talking to Ben about this project. I call it like practice grad school, which is basically I don't have enough money to really go to grad school. Or really the time working full time and having a family as well. It's really difficult.
Yeah.
But I have
a friend who keeps dragging you into a stupid podcast.
I enjoy this podcast very much.
So do I.
This is partly my love child as well.
Yeah.
But I have a very long list of books that I would like to read and read very, I guess, in a quickly, kind of like a grad school program would be. So basically a book a week. And I'm failing miserably at that. I also like to do more writing and
me too.
To improve my writing skills and analytical skills and those kind of things. And then also a friend of mine just invited me to a book club, which I think will fit in quite nicely with this practice grad school idea.
Yes.
Because we're talking about discussing Herodotus. I think that'll be quite interesting.
Yes.
So, that's the one I'm probably the most excited about, actually. Even though it's very discouraging most days.
Well,
I'm already falling behind. So.
It feels like in order to have any kind of growth or progress, You have to be like outside of your comfort zone a little bit, which means
Yeah,
falling down and picking yourself back up a lot.
that is a good statement. Yeah.
So, I'm learning that right now in my festival. But what about
Yeah.
for the podcast?
I think you hit the nail on the head on a lot of those things because I was looking at some of our metrics, and we typically hit most popular age brackets are like our age, like mid-20s and up.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to kind of expand that a little bit because that's our age bracket and up, as well as being predominantly male.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to see that expand. I'd like to
Yeah,
maybe go younger, kind of figure out
be
how
nice to
to,
see more diversity in there.
yeah, like more topics that appeal to women and younger members who might be listening. I don't know, maybe podcasts don't appeal to folks under 25. But I'd like to see a little more diversity in our listenership.
Yeah. If you have ideas about how to do that, listeners, let us know. And I know that we're both really looking forward to what we're going to talk about next after we finish up Westerns by the Decade.
Which will probably help because I can imagine a lot of teenagers liking Westerns.
Right.
Uh, so, yes, our next project.
Very exciting.
It is very exciting. I don't know if you're ready to spill the beans on that, Ben.
I'm going to keep it under my hat for the moment, I think, and just leave it at a tease.
Okay. So we're very excited about the second season of Pop Story, and we're definitely
It's
going to work on that.
going to be bigger and better. Alrighty, well, I think that's it for this minisode. Thanks very much for listening. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Ben.
And we will talk to you guys next time. Don't forget to share, like, review, listen.
Definitely listen.
And we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.